All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to this podcast. So today we'll be talking about something that we all experience, but we rarely discuss, and that is when friendship fades. So we live in a digital age where we are more connected than ever through the internet, phone, and all the means of communication now. But yeah, the irony is friendship now can feel more distant than it has ever been. Have you ever wondered when certain friendship like just drift apart, especially in a Christian circle? How do we handle that biblically? How do we know when to hold on to, a friend or someone, or when to let go? Today, we're going to be diving into this very important conversation. And by the end of this episode, we know that you will be having some more clarity, encouragement, and practical steps for navigating fading friendship. So, I have two guests today that will be participating in this conversation. I'm going to get our first guest, Oluwaseun, to introduce himself.
Hi everyone, thank you, Flo. Do appreciate it as well. Yeah, so with regard into this podcast session, it's a very important session with regard to the conversation for today. Um, I hope we're gonna be bringing a lot of value to you guys, and we're gonna learn a bit with regard and why friendship fades, and I think we do have a friend of ours or an old friend which we don't get along anymore for various reasons. So hopefully we can share a lot of ideas, and hopefully you all can get inspired and you get to enjoy the moment as well.
Yeah, thank you. And our second guest is Jeffers. I'm just going to bring her on and she can introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jeffus. I'm happy to be here and really give some perspectives and just discuss about the topic of fading friendships because I feel it's one that isn't really talked about, but it occurs with most people. So it's great to be here and really talk about it.
Yeah, thank you. So, having all our guests introduce themselves, does any one of you want to maybe like share any story of a friendship that is no longer working?
Um, I can start.
Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead,
please.
Stu.
Yeah, I think for me, I'll say something personal about myself. I do recall currently I'm in Canada, and prior to coming to Canada, like I had set in a couple of friends where pretty much close. We had pretty much same values. We pretty much shared a lot of things in common at that point in time. And me relocating here to Canada for my masters and starting a new life here. I'll say the friendship deteriorated in terms of our communication as well. Less communication due to different time zone, different interests in life. So for me, gradually, everyone was pretty much more focused in various career in their life, and that did affect relationship as friends. And I would say there are few which we don't talk anymore. But it's quite unfortunate. These things happen naturally. It wasn't because of any major incidents or major fights or you call it, but it was a natural situation. Life, two things happen in life, and it was something new. And for me, I just had to embrace something new for me, and I lost that friendship. So that's a typical example, if I may say. Yeah, but I'm
Yeah,
open. I'm always willing to reconnect. If we ever cross paths, hey, never can say.
totally. Like I can actually say that I like just moving from a location to another can actually result to you losing touch with friends. And say out of sight is out of mind. So sometimes it's not like you don't really care about the friendship. It's just that life just happens, and yeah, you just get busy with other things. So I'm just gonna dive straight into you know, the like the reasons. Like question is why do we see that friendship fading? I'm gonna get Jeffers to give us a very elaborate example or and reasons why friendships are fading these days compared to like before.
Thank you, Flo. The friendship dynamic is it's not a straightforward one. So there are many reasons why friendships will fade. Life, transitions, like different changes in life, maybe because someone is married, then there's less time to hang out with friends. And so eventually that connection kind of goes sour. Sometimes when like both of you were on the same level, but then as a result of changes in your careers, different parts you have to focus on, and then maybe some people were going at the same pace, and then maybe one person, due to some certain life challenges, they fall back, and they can't catch up with the rest of them. So friendships in that regard also fade because of this level thing. They no longer feel like they can fit in. For example, like maybe someone went on to have their PhD, and then they're snagging like big roles and big opportunities, and then their really close friend now feels a bit inferior to that space and to that friendship, because it's very clear that the knowledge that both of them have is not the same. And it might not be very obvious, but it's a feeling that the other person has, and sometimes unknowingly the one that is higher shows that, maybe with things like, oh sorry, I just have a meeting, oh there's some people, there are important things I have to do, always having this excuses that are somehow related to your status. So the other person now feels like, oh, so I'm no longer worthy of being a part of this because I'm less than what you now want to be associated with. So something like that also helps. And as before, like you mentioned, relocating, that has really wrecked a lot of friendships, and it's on the increase a lot, because I mean, three of us in this room can probably relate to, relocating a lot. It's a long, different places. You live up and live to, another life, and you just can't connect. The time zones don't match up, and then this part of the world is very busy. So before you finish hustling your 3 jobs and doing whatnot, to now get back to your friend is hard. Some messages, you leave them unread for 1 week, and then you have to say I'm sorry, and the other person doesn't understand. So life transitions really affect a lot of friendships. Yeah, that's what I think really causes these problems, or this fading.
Yeah, thank you. So you did mention like marriages and all of that. Like, so let's sit on that, topic. Because marriage is for some people is a change of status.
Yeah.
When they move from being single to being married, they'll be like, we can't roll together again. And it's funny because sometimes even people will advise you that you might have to, maybe to an extent, give up um your single friends, or reduce your single friends if you get married, just to reduce like some temptations and all of that. But I'll get to share with you, throw some light on what do you think about how relationship, or like the moving up on status, will should affect friendship, and should it be so? Like, do you still like, are you of the opinion that you should like lay off your single friends when you increase your rank in marriage by getting married? Yeah, go ahead.
So change of status, marital status. I think from our cultural background, it's something really big when people get married. People have different beliefs. I think it's different for both men and female. To be honest, I think for me, it's more about the value. I won't say because you're married, we shouldn't be friends, or because I'm married, I can't be friends with you. You're single. For me, it's not. That's not the way life works. No, it's all about, do we have values that connect? Do we connect together? Do we have similar value? Do we have things that bring us together as friends? So you name it. So for me, it's not just about status. So that shouldn't judge people. So some people are not married for various reasons, but that doesn't mean they can't bring value to your life. And also, like you asked me the question, do I think it's okay for people to feel a certain way because they don't have the marital status? No, you shouldn't feel like that. No, you choose to marry doesn't mean the other person needs to be married as well. Or we all have different phases in life. So for me, you can get value from people, both married, you know, or married, you name it. So I don't think it's I don't think there's much validity in terms of you looking at saying, okay, because you're married, I can't interact with you, we can do things together. No, it's for me, it's more about the value. If your value still
Yeah.
aligns, or you have things in common, or it could be something you're working on a project, or there's something, it could be from a investment point of view, financial stuff, or you name it. So if there's
Yeah.
alignment there, we can do things together. If there's not, it doesn't matter if you're married or not. So that's it for me.
So while you're talking, I was just thinking about a teen line there. So let's say I have this bestie that is a guy and is getting married, soon. And part of the advice that he's been given is it needs to now not be this single bestie used to be to me. So like um then now it has to, because of its change of status, the friendship will not be as strong as it was before. um if you ask me, I think that is a valid point. I think we've talked about relationship before. There should be boundaries, so it doesn't mean you have to just put away the friendship totally. There's always room to, like, draw boundaries, and you guys can still be bonding and all of that. However, I'm going to get Jeffers to throw some light on that kind of bestie relationship. What do you think?
Yeah, I think with those kind of relationships, boundaries are very necessary. However, can't because there's a depth to the friendship. For example, some best friends have literally been best friends since like 10 years before they got married. So it's just based on a mutual understanding of the different level that has been reached. For example, your friend will understand, I have a husband now, I have a wife now, so there's no way I'm going to stay on a call with you for 6 hours. There's no way I'm just going to literally everything, me and my husband talk about, then I come to tell you. There should be some form of, at least you would honor your partner to give them some privacy, and then, or a case where you have something to settle and the first person you're asking is the best friend and the husband. So there's some nuances. You have to try as much as possible to, the friend too should understand that there's a way the friendship should now be handled. It doesn't mean there should be less communication. It just means that the communication can be a bit more structured. you know it comes from a place of understanding. So for example, if we always talk every day and then now it's reduced to once a week, you should be fine with that and not take it personal. you know um as long as there's communication, of course, not just that I up and go. So there needs to be an understanding of the different dynamic. that
Yeah.
that should not affect what we have gone, because the friend that I'm best friends with, we've gone through a lot together to just abandon it. So for example, now if the marriage didn't work out, God forbid, then you now decide to, it would be weird to come back to your to your best friend and the best friend be like, oh, now it's not working, then you remember me. So as a human being, there's so many things we are balancing. Balancing is like part of our life. We have to balance. So I think balancing is really necessary with those kind of dynamics.
And if you don't mind, just clarify myself, which kind of the points I made as well. So like, if you do recall, I did say something about for men and women, it's a little bit different. You find a lot of men, they have a lot of single friends, friends that are bachelors. but they're business partners. Would you say because they're not married, I can do business with them? So, like I said, it has to do with the value. What is there something that's aligning there? And regardless, there got to be boundaries as well. Like in as much as they're single, my values should tell me there's boundaries with regards to things we could do together.
Yeah.
So like I said, there has to be something that's aligning up there. If it's for something of value that is bringing positive energy to me, we could be friends. We could do business. We could talk about, we could invest. You could do something creative, something innovative. But when it comes to living that single life, no, there got to be boundaries. And we also need to understand something as well. There's a difference between friendship and acquaintancy. That you might have a lot of acquaintances, but very few friends. So you also need to know how to, segment that as well in terms of who you want to call a friend and who you want to put as a acquaintances as well. So that's it for me.
Okay, so I'm going to ask Jeffers this question, and it's more on why friendship fades in the Christian setting, right? Like we have this bond, we've gone to church together, like we are praising God together, going for conferences, seminars together, and all of a sudden we're just drifting apart. So, do you want to throw some light on some of the things that Christians get to face that is brings about this fading friendships?
Yeah, with regards to Christianity, it's a bit different because with Christianity, your focus is like it's on Christ. The basis of your friendships is on Christ. So why Christian friendships fade, number one, might be because there's a drop in how committed the other person is that kind of pulls you back, and you can no longer keep up with trying to encourage this. So for example, um I have a friend that we always go for Bible study together, and then for some reason she just doesn't go again. There's always an excuse to why she can't go. Two things: it could be that she's actually going through some things, and then I have to be sensitive to know, okay, is the reason why she's not going for Bible study because she's actually being challenged, or just because she's no longer interested in going for Bible, or she doesn't care so much for it, or it's no longer one of her priorities. So it depends. But then it usually, a fade in Christian friendships is one person is carrying God on their head, and then the other person is a bit more free with everything, doesn't really care so much, and then it's hard to really balance. It starts meddling into what your values are. For example, maybe your one of you people's stance was you guys don't go clubbing, but then all of a sudden it's okay to hang out in a bar, and you're now made to feel weird for not following her to the bar. Oh, we are not drinking, we're just hanging out. What's there? I'm not doing anything. But that wasn't why we bonded. There are different convictions for everybody. I had a conviction, and people use convictions to also make friends. So for a lot of people in Christian friendships, your friendships are based on how you're aligned spiritually. For example, um i wouldn't I personally wouldn't make friends with somebody who doesn't see the need to go to church. Like, it's not your thing. I'm not judging you. It's not because I'm not your Christian brother or sister. No. But it's not, we are not in the same line, because when I'm talking, oh, there's this powerful service today, and the pastor was talking about something, you'll be looking at me in a strange light. You would think I'm overdoing. You would think I'm doing too much. You've come again. So those type of differences will not allow the friendship go forward, because everything I say, like for example, if I come and say, oh, my that pastor was just making jokes. I mean, he was talking about the Holy Spirit. You literally look at me like, please, can we talk about something else? Or. And I find this a lot of people these days. One person is like, oh, for example, our popular, Shiloh, different programs that we attend, Hallelujah Challenge, all
Hallelujah
those type of things.
challenge.
And then just finished. And so, I'll say, oh, I have to join her every time. You people are joining all these
Or is it
Alicia.
NSP? Is it NSPPD or whatever it is?
We join every morning, and you're like, oh, please, you people under NSPPD, I beg. It might be okay in the beginning, like you'll be fine with it. It's fine. After all, they say don't judge, and it's not from a place of judgment. It's just that I'm talking with this excitement. Omo, did you hear the testimony? You can relate. You literally think I'm talking rubbish. You think I've come again. So it tends to dull the conversation. At some point, you get uninterested in having conversations with me, whereas that is where I am finding the passion to talk. So it's a thin line. I don't doubt that there are people who still maintain friendships with that kind of this thing, but to me it's a bit, it's hard to really keep up, because what is my passion? You're not there. So that is one reason I think that might this thing. But Sean, I don't know what.
Sherry's like,
I
I have something to say.
His
I
facial
I get.
expression.
Oh yeah, sure. I think for me it's more of spiritual belief. The spiritual belief, there's a misalignment there. I understand where you're coming from in terms of an individual who pretty much doesn't share the same value with you from a spiritual point of view. You tend to find um you find it less engaging with such individual, if I'm correct. Yeah, and I get it. But just my take here, like I don't want to get controversial, yeah, but and I think we're all different individual. Me personally, I don't think I choose my friend based on religion, because I live in a world whereby religion is big, but at the same time, I can choose certain friends for religion for certain reason. If we have the same religious values, that's fine. But I think there's more to just choosing a friend than just looking at their values from a spiritual point of view. A person could, bring more value to me and might not share the same value with me. For example, I might have friends that financially is, top notch. He helps me from an investment point of view, tells me how to invest. And, we get along on different things, but maybe just on spiritual values, we don't. And I kind of respect that as well. So I'll leave it there. I don't want to get controversial. But,
Okay,
but I hear you out though. You got a point. I hear you out
so Jeffers does have a point. I have was growing up, as a Christian, I have actually had to like separate myself from some set of friends, especially being in the university. Like I had like roommates that they will go party all night, they will come back at like, 3 a.m. in the morning and all of that, right? Like sometimes you need to, like Sharon said, your values. What are your values? Some people, values can be a lot of things. Like if you hold on to Christian values and the word of God and what God has to say about how, say the people that you have around you will influence you. I'm trying to remember that scripture. Right? But like just knowing, and especially when you know that you're getting influenced by the behaviors you see around you. And it's funny because like, if you stay in a particular place for a long time, before you know what's happening, you start behaving like them. So that's why we see people that sometimes you're advised that, oh, if you're among everybody, all your friends are smokers, very soon you will start tasting. You might not be smoking at the end of the day, but you will be persuaded once in a while, like, hey, Alpha, there's no way you tell them they will not throw that thing at you. So you now take extra energy, extra determination to still say, oh no, I don't want to do this. Even if I'm friends with you, I don't want to do this. But we have people that don't have that strong will. Because that's like a strong will, right? So we get people that don't have strong will to say no to maybe a behavior or things happening around them, and you see them just conforming to it. But that's why we say, like, okay, if you know that you cannot, just keep up with the friendship because of the way it's going to influence you negatively or influence your values or influence your faith, you might want to take a step back. So that brings me to the question of when is it okay to let go? Now we see people in like they are friends, they've been friends for such a long time, but it just gets to that point where it's just time to let go. But how do we time that, and what are the things, and how do we even let go? Because friendship is actually intimacy. If you check it, it is intimacy because you're fellowshipping together. I'm going to give this very, very funny example. I got into this prayer group and all of that, and we started praying. Before we bonded so well, we are now friends, and all of that. But all of a sudden, the whole prayer group, everybody just got busy, and we just lost that touch. But at the beginning, we were like, no, if you call, I'm answering in 1 minute. But just that, not communicating, not fellowshipping together, not building that intimacy, just pushed us apart. So the question is, how do we let go, and how do we know when to let go? Any one of you can take a stab at it. Jeffers, do you want to go?
Okay.
Or Sheo?
Sheo looks like he has something
Okay.
to say.
So here's the thing. There's some friendship where things just fade up naturally. You just give up that friendship, and not be like I gave example, which kind of relocation as well, or relocating. Sorry, it's not because I choose not to want to be the friend to this individual. It's just something that at this point in my life, I just have different goals. I have different things that's occupying my mind.
Yeah.
And likewise, the friend as well. And sometimes lack of communication as well. There's some friends you have there, you've not been in touch for so long. Like, look, there's so many people in this world, and sometimes some people get forgotten.
I think my focus more is when your values no longer align, when you feel like they are taking you to the wrong direction. When is it okay? Is to let go? Like, something like that. Should I let go? Should I just hold on to it because I need to be friends?
So here's the thing. You got to know what you stand for as well. You got to evaluate things based on the way it comes to you. You got to look at it on the long term. Is this what's holding on to? If it's friendship whereby we're not even really friends. You're just an acquaintance. So what's the point? I'll let it go.
Maybe we're friends.
So what makes us friends? Because we share things, we have a bond, there's that intimacy, like you said. There's connection, there's that connection, we can talk about personal things. The moment you stop having that, you have this thing within you. Once you'll feel it naturally and be like, okay, you know what, it's time to cut it off. Once you don't get that need and the urge to say, oh, this person, it's a gradual thing. It's going to fade off eventually, gradually.
It doesn't actually for some people. Some people are very good at keeping friends. I've had people that still like throw one or two messages till today. Like I don't even message them at all. Right? Some people are just good at keeping in touch and just say, hey, what's up? Are you okay? Now, let me say this story, and let me just bring Jeffers on screen too. Now, I have this friend of mine that, I don't even talk to him that much. Like, I just see him on the streets where I was like, younger, and just say hello. I know how it is. And, I think we exchanged numbers and that was it. However, like they will message you to a point where you'll be like, you know what, I'm not even answering this person again. Let's just go. But one day I was on Instagram and I didn't even know this guy was following me. And all of a sudden, I don't think I was off Instagram for almost a year, just going through some personal stuff. But this guy messaged me and it was like, hey, Flowelt, how are you doing? And just that message, I just burst into tears. Like, this person hasn't even seen me for a while. This person hasn't, because I know that I was not even doing fine. But just like some people are in the habit of just checking up and just keeping the friendship. So for me, it's a good thing. But however, so we're talking about more on when this friendship is not good for you. It's not good for your mental health. It's not good for your life at all. It's not moving you forward. When is it time to really let go? And how do you let go?
Can I say something if you don't mind?
Or just wake up and just say, I'm carrying my bag to let's go?
So with this example you gave, I don't think that's friendship. That's not friendship. That's just acquaintance.
He was once a friend.
Okay, that's why I think we kind of use certain words wrongly. That's no friend. Someone checking up on you is not your friend. He's an acquaintance. What do you have? What are you like? Is there anything personal you both share? This is someone you don't even know too much about, but he checks up
We
on
grew
you.
up in the same streets.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's your friend. Like there's a difference between friendship, someone you share bond with. Like, did you share any bond with this person?
I won't say it's a bond, but we had
That's the point.
conversations.
The fact you can't even say yes, it means that's not friendship.
It's okay.
Yeah,
I get.
it's an acquaintance, and I'm not saying acquaintance is a bad word in the negative.
So let's
but
define what acquaintances is
yeah.
and friendship, so that we cannot mix it up. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, do you have a good definition?
Yes, acquaintance are people you know. They're in common spaces with you. They're in church, they're in school. Some of you grew up together in terms of we're on the same street. There are people that are around as you go through the phase, but they don't know anything about you. They're not let in. They don't have access to you as such. They are high people. And that's the problem I have, and I think we will get there. We always, because the Bible tells us be kind to everybody. So by nature, as Christians, we're talking Christianity, you're naturally supposed to be kind to everybody. Hi, how are you? Oh my God bless you. You laugh, you hug with everybody. A lot of times people mistake those hugging, oh my God, oh my, you look so good, as friendships. But it's not. You're supposed to differentiate between hi and friend. Does that friend know when you're down and sad? No, he doesn't have any clue. They are always laughing with you. A friendship, they are not always laughing. There are sometimes that they are hard conversation. A friend that doesn't know what is going on. I'm not saying it's because it also depends on when you share with this friend, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes when you share these things, you let people in, that's when they know. But there are some people that are very surface level. It's just, hi, how is everything going? Oh, I'm good. Okay, good. They don't care to stay informed about your life. Maybe you also as well you don't get them, but you're cordial with them. And I think a lot of people need to learn. A lot of people allow the cordial people into, like, they don't know how to differentiate between being cordial and actually being a friend. For example, you will know when you're friends with someone when for example, I had a baby and I needed to call somebody to get me to come and help me with like a very pressing challenge. You wouldn't call someone that you talk to once a month. No, you wouldn't call somebody that you just say, hi, how are you? Hope everything is fine. No, that's not the person you call. Let's go down. You might first call your sibling. If your sibling is not there, no, you're calling somebody that is close to the family that knows certain things. So there's a level, that you would reach with somebody friendship is in depth.
There's a personal connection there, just to say
this. Connection. There's a depth.
Personal connection.
There's experience within that. There's something that you people have gone through. Might not be bad. It might be a life phase. It might be something, but there's a depth to it that you people have gone through that makes it a friendship.
Yeah. And on the other side as well, with acquaintance, it's just a casual relationship.
Yes.
And I'll tell you as a guy, I have a lot of acquaintances. A lot. Sometimes some people like, oh, you got a lot of friends, but like the truth is I have a lot of acquaintances. You see them on social gatherings, you see them occasionally, but that doesn't mean they're my friends. Mm-hmm. They don't even know what I do for work. They don't know where I live. They don't know much about me personally. So what you saying you're my friend, I think you're overstretching. You're just an acquaintance. It's a casual relationship. And there's some people, they pretty much go from friendship to acquaintances. And that's part of the things that you talked about, friendship fading away. So that it happens. Some people you share things with personally, you have a connection with them, but gradually it starts fading. They start dropping down to the level of acquaintance. You don't tell them too many things that are changing about you, they don't know. And eventually they just fade off. So that's it.
Yeah. So just defining friendship and acquaintance, we know what acquaintance is and we know what friends are. Just from you guys' definition, I was just like, wow, that means I have a lot of acquaintance. I thought they were my friends. We
Sure.
have like, I have so many friends, but are you not my friend? It's funny because I was listening to like a preaching and someone said, if you are in a situation and you don't have anybody to call,
Mhm.
you know, in that situation, then you need to really check your friend circle, right? Because that means you don't really have friends. Because if friends are people that you want to like, rely on and they rely on you, and yeah, you can trust them with your information too. That's the depth of your friendship. So now let's say I have this very close friend and the friend is negatively impacting my values. How do I let go? Because I have built this strong bond with this person, right? And this can also even come, yeah, the friend is just impacting and negatively influencing your values, and you're at that point where you're like, let's say your friend is always taking you to like the bar where introduce you to this many girls, and you're like, no, I am just a faithful guy, what's going to happen, kind of thing. So how do you let
Uh,
go? That's because
uh,
people, it's really hard to let go, especially when you guys have this bond. From your definition of friendship is deep. It's not just like you've cried together, you've laughed together, you've done everything together, you've built a bond. How do you let go when it's negatively influencing you?
I'll tell you. Um, I will have done my own assessments, and if I pretty much find out, okay, this person is, the values is bringing to me is becoming negative, and I don't value those. There's just misalignment there. I'm sorry, I'm gonna downgrade you to acquaintance.
Just
No,
like
this
that.
is. Oh yeah, because we don't. At that point in time, you just said it. Like, you're bringing negative value to me. And I'm sorry, and I
Without no
don't.
emotions, you're not feeling bad about it.
No. Okay, here's the thing. It's not about not feeling bad, but at the end of the day, there's gonna be a boss there whereby we don't even talk anymore because you're doing things I don't like. You're doing things we don't. I don't. I don't do. Okay, I'll say this as well. It's just like you're saying. All of a sudden, I have a friend. We've been friends for so long. This friend is pretty much into something illicit, or you name it. Something maybe involving some. I don't want to say. I don't want to use the word. I don't want to use the word, but something illicit.
Yeah.
And I don't do any of such. Um, I'm gonna give you space because I know, okay, your kind of friends are not the kind of friends I want to have. You can still be someone. You can still be someone around me, but you're not gonna be a friend anymore. You're gonna be an acquaintance. So your
Okay.
value does align with me for that. For that reason. It's nothing personal. It's just reality. I
Yeah.
put you on and that's it. I respect you. This is what you want to do with your life. This is what you want to do yourself. But for me, I'm sorry, I can't condone such because your kind of friends will match my value as well. So I put you from friendship to an acquaintance level. You can always go. You can interswitch as well. When things change, you can come back to be a friend, and that's the truth.
But
That's
you might
just
not even want the
reality.
friendship at that stage too, right?
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
look,
Because
I don't
you've
take
moved
this as
on.
serious. That's life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
personal. Yeah. You
So do
meet
you
friends every
think,
time, meet people every time. So that's it.
yeah. So Jeffers, do you think it's really hard sometimes to let go of some friends?
It depends, but for the most part, it's hard. It depends. Let me tell you why. If you're somebody who is strong-willed and you stick to your values, it's not hard for you. Yes, it's a thing it hurts sometimes, but it's not hard because you know where you're going. You can't just afford to keep this person on. So you've already let go of those emotions where you need to feel bad because they are not necessary in the grand scheme of things. When things start happening, there will be no time for that. So you've already calculated, oh please, I don't really like the other side of this particular friendship, and you just let it go. So for the most part, it just depends. If you're an emotional person, I mean, you might grieve the friendship, and it's okay. You might grieve the friendship depending on how you guys are close, and what you guys have discussed, where you people thought you would be. You would grieve what you thought that friendship would be. You would grieve what you listen, but your values are placed ahead. For example, you saw someone pushing drugs or doing drugs. If like we were in Nigeria now, where there's this negative, I mean, there's still a negative stigma to drugs no matter where, but like a case where they would come catch you, or they would, like the police people would, you would need to leave that person alone, even though it's hard. Maybe from afar you can be praying for the person or whatever, but you wouldn't necessarily feel okay like being with that person. So no matter how much that person is my G, I grew up, we've been friends since secondary school, you would look at the other side. Almost, if the police person comes with me and this person, they're taking me to jail too. So I might need to, shift to the left and pray for this person from the side. So there are times where you use your common sense to weigh certain things. It wouldn't hurt you as much. You would be sad. You would show some emotion, but it's not to the point where you're like, I don't know if I should let go. No, because you have calculated. There's a picture that is playing that you wouldn't like for it to play out. So yeah,
And like I
just
said as
depends.
well, like I said, you don't even have to, fully disengage. You can just give them the space. Like I
Mm,
said, put them on acquaintance level. You can check up on me, I can check up on you once in a while, but I'm not going to be sharing personal things with you. That personal connection is not going to be there because we don't have the
Yeah.
same thing. That's it. And for the fact you're not my friend doesn't mean you're my enemy. No, that's just it. There's a different space you keep people,
mm.
and you have different friendship for various reasons. So, like, we got to know how to segment these things as well.
Yeah, you just need to know when to let go. And as we've said, you just have to weigh, what's going on around you. Like, is
Mhm.
it beneficial? What are the factors around this friendship? Is it moving you forward or moving you backward? I don't know. I don't think there is a friendship that will move me backward that I want to stay. I'll stick around because, there's this research that happened that if you put, is it an eagle among chickens, they won't even know how to fly, or they won't know that they have the ability to like soar their wings and all of that. So your
Mm.
circle definitely influence you. I just want to talk about, or we want to talk about, like, the role of social media in friendship. So how do you think so far social media has helped improve our friendship, or made our friendship, not the way it is? Jeff, was you can start.
See, yeah, you guys kind of know my stance on a lot of things regarding social media from the last discussion. Hey, social media on friendships it's too, I don't think there's any good part. Why? Because, for example, I post something on social media, people are commenting, oh man, you're hot, love eyes, something like that. These are people that don't talk to you. These are people that haven't talked to you in months. These are people that don't have your phone number.
Should
So
I
it's
tell you that? Is it like when you even post on your status and you see people liking or viewing your status, they will never message you.
never, they would never message you, but they are liking it. And then we are seeing these comments, and people are thinking, oh my God, these are people that ride or die. I don't even have your number. I don't remember the last time I talked to you. So I think social media just has no benefit. If you're friends with somebody, social media is not your best bet. The most we do, like most of my real friends that I have that I'm like on social media, we share memes. We just share memes and we laugh. And that's about what we share on social media. You understand? It's not where we do the actual friendship. It's not where we do that, because
Yeah.
there's nothing. I feel all of it is fake. Immediately you post a picture now, you can get 100 likes. This is somebody that doesn't, you don't even know anything about that person. Or is it the status? You check status, so many people have already liked. Status is even worse because they just keep viewing you. They view you, they see all those things. No one even responds, no one says anything. So I think social media is just a fake world. It's fake, in my opinion. Any friend, especially when it comes to friendship, any real friend you have, it's not on social media that your friend is. Most times they call you on phone. For the most part, the real friends you have will have your phone number. And aside, not even only that they have your phone number, you communicate very well with them. So my point
Yeah.
is, it's not on social media you used to you used to vet
You
that
do
friendship.
friendship. Yeah.
It's not there. It's way out of social media. So I don't think social media it's any good place. Social media is for business, for show, for spectacle. Really, it's not a place that friendship goes hand in hand. Anything you see that is a form of friendship on social media is drama based for the most part, is business based for the most part. There's a
Drama
goal,
base.
there's something they need to get from each other, whether it's visibility, whether it's funds, whether it's like more, more collaborations, just something. There's no authenticity to it there. Every friendship there is not, yeah, no.
Okay. Cheryl, let's hear from you. What do you think? How is social media influencing friendship this?
It's an illusion. People just want to display the best of them on social media. I won't call that friendship. That's not friendship. People, you like you mentioned, people like your post, they like what you place there, but these people don't know what you do for work. They don't even know anything about you. They don't know how you're doing, mentally, physically. There's no personal connection. It's just about, oh, yes, I like this, you like this. For me, no. Yeah, I don't. It's just unrealistic for me. Unrealistic expectation, peer pressure as well. I always tell people, look, social media is great if you use it for the right purpose, but I tell people, stop living your life on social media. You're just wasting your time.
Yeah.
That's like, you're just trying to create a false image so that people could either like you or, you name it. But like for me, like if you're someone that you're selling on, you sell some, you pretty much have a platform like social media where you can sell your product, you name it. That's good. Using it for that kind of business. But when you're talking about you want to live a life on social media, you think you can build real friendship there. I don't know about that. I don't know about building real friendship on social media, especially for the ones you've never met in person. What do you mean? Like, I've not met you in person and you're telling me we're gonna be besties? What besties? Like, no. What do you mean? Like, I don't understand. I don't have any. To be honest, I don't have any best on social media. No, I don't. And I engage a lot on Twitter, for example. I have people that we talk about sport, we collaborate, talk about different things in tech and all that. But I wouldn't just say they're my friends. No, they're still acquaintance because there's limit to what they know about me. We can talk about certain topics, but that doesn't mean they're my friends. So for me, no.
So yeah, so it's more like social media does have some negative um impact in friendship. So one of the positive side of social media, which um people will generally agree on, is social media helps you connect to at least maybe old friends that you've not met before. Obviously you've met them before, they're old friends. Old friends that maybe you've disconnected, like you guys haven't connected for a long time. And I know just opening Facebook account, like my secondary school mates, you connect with them, but they are still not your friends. Like you said, they're just acquaintances. But at one point they used to be your friend though, but because of distance and everything. So another good, oh no, for me, that's a good side of social media, just helping you connect to people that were really close to your heart in the past. It might be a family member that you just lost their contact and you just couldn't find them, and your social media, you went to Google their name and you found them. That can be a positive side. So a negative side of social media is the part of when you now have these friends and there's this competition that happens around you. You see them post something, you see them get married, and you are now feeling bad. That's influencing the friendship because you're not having maybe jealousy or something. You see them buy a new car, you see them get a new job. Even LinkedIn, some people post, how you update your I am now a manager at CIBC Bank. Sometimes people have hypertension.
Why the peer pressure? Like, tell me.
It's peer pressure, right? No, personally, I would say that sometimes I would just see, one of my friends is not direct. I'll be like, God, do am I still your child? So like social media is good, but it also brings pressure to you. So you want to now know how to use it to benefit your friendship. It can be like, oh, you are connecting to the social media. Also, like, I believe does WhatsApp fall into the category, maybe just like communication medium, using WhatsApp and all that, just to keep in touch and build that friendship. I know some friends are so tight that sometimes they do video calls for like hours, right? They reach out to each other and stuff like that. So just know how best to use social media to boost your friendship. Now, one of the last things I want us to discuss is how to navigate fading friendship. You know that this friendship is going, down the hill now because of a lot of reason. How do we navigate it? Like, how it's now up to you. Do you want to bring it back to life? Do you want to just let it go down? Like, how do you, if you're in that place where like this friendship is no longer friendshiping, like what do we want to advise people to do at that stage? Jeffers, go
Uh,
ahead. Shane, go ahead. Sorry.
okay, I think it depends on the situation as well. There's some friendship where is worth fighting for. If there was a time where there was conflict and you both have shared a lot in the past, and people have different egos, and everyone is just strong-headed and all that, but like there's some friendship where you be like, okay, is worth fighting for. But if that's not the case, man, I'll just let it go. Like sometimes if it's natural, some friendship just fit naturally, I'm fine with it. If in the future we can be acquaintance,
Yeah.
or we can reconnect, you name it, because every day you meet new people. In as much as I meet new people, I still want to keep the ones I've called friends. But
Yeah.
the same way I want to keep them, they want to meet new people as well. So like for me, I'm just being natural about it. I tell people you don't have to necessarily force things all the time. There are things you got to fight for, but you can see the signs. If you constantly have conflict, you constantly arguing, there's just that misalignment. Sometimes you just gotta let it go. But don't force things. Just do you. Be natural. Be authentic. Be stick to your values. If the values does align, you guys will be friends. If it's worth fighting for, you fight for it. If not, look, you're gonna make some other friends someday. So just that's what I'll say.
Yeah. So I like the part where you say let it go. And if your values no longer align. So let's hear from Jeffers. What do you have to say? So if how do people navigate this fading friendship? You're not realizing that your friendship is just fading. You're doing everything though, but it's just sliding away. How do people navigate it?
It depends also on the value. Like, for example, I think communication, as Sean said, there are some that it just goes. You can't really do anything about it. But there are some that are worth having a communication, conversation with the person. Hey, our friendship has not really been what it used to be. Is there anything going on? There's room for that kind of conversation, and then depending on the way that person responds, the maturity behind that response, if the person is willing to acknowledge that the friendship has actually faded, or that the friendship is not what it used to be, and then you people collaboratively work on building it together. So that means I reach out to you, I have a listening ear to something. I don't wait till there's some friendship that is only one person that checks in on the person. Only one, like, if I don't message, the thing is there till the next time I'm checking in on the person. Such type of friendships, you ask the person, maybe that person is going through a life challenge that communication would help you have a better insight in into what is going on, and then you're able to understand, maybe give grace. You understand that maybe the person doesn't want to talk all the time, or the person may need one or two, but that communication kind of helps you have a better perspective on if it's worth it. There's how the person too would respond. Omo, abeg, no time. Oh. There's I'm going to say something that there are some people that say, life is really busy these days, or nobody has time to be checking up on people. I have a problem with that statement, because life will only get busier. Life will only get busier. There's more stages in your career to go. There are people, phases of raising family. Life will only get busier. So if you're going to find an excuse on why you cannot just check in, there's some people, if you check the chat, you're the only one that checks in on them. They don't check in on you. Such type of, you see the willingness to respond, or the willingness to like foster the friendship is not present on their side. Then there's nothing much you can do for self-respect, because there's still self-respect in your friendship. You need to also know when it's beginning to look like you're a desperate, and then it's beginning to look insulting as well. So you just have to have that conversation with the person and be like, hey, is there anything going on, anywhere I could be of help to you, or would you want me to step in, so and so. And then that person, if that person is a mature person that knows the importance of communication, and say, oh yeah, I'm really sorry, that this is how it has gone, it's really been tough. Then you're able to be a friend. Maybe you now know how better to be a friend to that person, whether it's maybe giving a time space, like, okay, for a week I'll just allow the person be. There are some kind of challenges that might require some, maybe it's in terms of looking for resources for them, you understand, it's in praying for them. There are different ways, but it's only communication that will really help you get to the root of that kind, or to know how to navigate such type of friendship. So that's what, yeah, I think.
Yeah, no, totally. You need to know, it's like reading the room, right? You want to read the room and you want to say, okay, is this person willing to even make it work? Because it takes two to make something work. If your friendship is already fading away, it might be one person is deliberately making it fade. Like they deliberately don't want to deal with you anymore, like just go away. Or, like Jeff is saying, to like self-respect, respect yourself, and carry your load and go, and just know when to move on. And it's when you mentioned communication, so people are really very difficult to talk to, and it's really hard when people are not really saying anything, they are just acting it. So you're not asking, but what's the problem? Be like, no problem, but you did not call, you've not called for 2 weeks, we talk every day. Like, no problem, sorry, I'm just busy. Like you said, you have a problem with being busy. No, they're not just busy, they have just moved you to the acquaintance list.
Oh yeah,
right? You just changed, status, you didn't know. Yeah, so don't be deceived.
Yeah.
One of the big things I know about communication, I used to be like, maybe the person is busy. They're not busy. Especially even in relationship, be like, he did not call me today, he did not call me yesterday. And you finally get in touch with him and it's like, oh, I was at work, oh, I'm so sorry. And it happens again and again, and you just keep giving the excuse, say, sister and brother, you already moved down the list. Maybe you're not like side chick number 10. That's why they're not calling you again. Just know, when people stop giving you their time, they have actually moved your status down their priority list, because time is one of the what's it called, most valuable assets. So when people stop giving you their time, they stop giving you their most valuable assets. So just know your place in their life, and it's okay to know your place. If you say that, oh, my place is just your acquaintance, it's okay. But I think one of the things I like is you let me know when we are moving to the a stage of acquaintance. Because I'm my man, I'm thinking like, oh, we're very good friends, we'll do anything for each other, we'll die for each other, we even and all of that. But all of a sudden, like, that communication is there. But sometimes if your friend don't communicate with you, know when to read the room and know when to say goodbye. If you have to say goodbye, or know when to adjust, your emotional input to that friendship. Because at the end of the day, you are still draining yourself mentally, thinking that, oh, I have this friend, and you're not hot with their behaviors or something.
Yeah.
Just know when to let go. So that is the end of our conversation today. I'm just gonna put it out there to the guests, if they have any one or two advice for you, so that you can hear what do you guys have. Shehu, do you have anything to say to our audience? Any word of advice for them?
I think what I have to say is it's been an awesome session, and I hope you all you really enjoyed our inputs, and you can easily tell who is a friend, who's an acquaintance as well. So I think people can learn from that as well, know how to structure the people around you, where to place them as well. So for me, I've also pretty much learned from your point of view, and I think it's a learning curve for everyone, learn when to let go of friendship, and it's been an awesome session, and hopefully you guys feel the same as well. Thank you.
Thank you. And Jeffers, what do you have to say?
Yeah,
few words until next
Yes.
time.
Yeah, I think I want to make a point. When as we're talking about friendships fading, I think one thing we should be mindful of is don't knowingly be the person that that kills the friendship and then just have the excuse of, oh, the friendship just faded. As long Do what you can, for the friendship, and then if it fades, it fades, but make sure you gave it your all before it got to a place where you couldn't redeem it anymore. Because I see that sometimes people don't try. In our generation now, there's a
Generation.
lot of politics involved with friendships. And I'm not saying it was not there before, but there's a lot of politics. I wanted to mention something, but I'll just quickly mention it. We have calibers of friendship: best friend, close friend, my neighborhood friend, my clinical friend, and just so many stratas, to friendship. Whereas in the Bible, we forget that they said a friend is someone that sticks closer to a brother. The Bible didn't say a best friend is someone that sticks, a close friend is someone. So you need to ask yourself, am I being a friend? Am I using the standard of the Bible to be a friend to this person? That means as a friend, you should be ready to die. That's what that Bible means. Your brother, you can give your brother a kidney without thinking twice. So if you're sticking closer to a brother, that means whoever you're with as a friend, you should be ready to do that. So that's a way to kind of judge, or like a litmus test to judge your friendships. And then ask yourself, am I being a friend too? Am I doing it the right way? And then you move from there. Every day is a day for improving ourselves and being better. So I think people should actually know that friendship is work, and put in the necessary work. But then if it doesn't work out, that's okay, but know that I did my best. And that's what happened.
Yeah, you actually just pushed us to another like dimension. I'm like, I have something to say. What should I say? We're like 1 hour now. But what you said is really, I'll say phenomenal and all of that, because the Bible says there's a friend that stay closer than a brother, which simply means that, like you said, like now when you mentioned that, I'm just thinking, do I have a friend now that can die for me?
You know? Yeah.
Oh, can I die for somebody now like this?
Yes. Can you die
Because
for
we're now
someone?
very self-centered in this digital age, and time. So there's that piece of us that we're now more thinking about ourselves. So that is definitely something to think about. Like, is there, what are we actually giving as friendship? And one of the last thing I want to mention is, there's this book that says How to Win Friends and Influence People, that I came across. It's a long time ago, but I think I came across it recently as well. Just reading it, it talks about how value is very important. Them receiving values from you and you receiving value from them. We are at the end of this, but I'm going to give an example. So I had this friend that I thought, this lady was my friend, and I never knew I was already moved down the list in terms of friendship. That's a very important stage you want to know. Not knowing is a really bad thing. Like someone has broken up with you, and you don't know that you think you're in a relationship. But they've broken up with you, right? So what happened was, like, I went to meet this lady, I went to visit her and all that, and I just realized that this friendship is no longer like there. Like, they were just frowning their face. You will say something, they are like, sensitive about what you say. They heard something from somewhere, they came to tell you, like, oh, Flo, I told you this thing in secret. Why did you go and tell someone? I was like, no, I did not say anything. Like, no, do you think I'm a baby? So they just keep bringing offense now, not knowing in their mind. So it's funny because this story is very, very interesting, and I was like, this person is behaving somehow. Then one day I just couldn't take it. I had to like say, hey, come, what's up? Like, oh, a long time ago you bought me a birthday gift, and the birthday gift you bought it from Dollarama. Why you gonna buy something from Dollarama? I was like, that was 5 years ago. I was pretty much a little bit broke. They're like, no, if you value me, so you can see that people have kept things in their mind without communicating it, and you feel like, oh, we are besties, we are friends. And at the end of the day, you're not even an acquaintance now. So acquaintance, they are still good, they are still nice to you. They've even defriend you. So know when to like get out of the friendship, especially when people are no longer your friends. So at the end of the day, it is up to you. Still hold on, the best way you can, like Jeffrey said. Don't be the one to like scatter things. Do your
Mm-hmm.
best to hold on to things, to like, do your part, but just know when to, say goodbye.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone for joining us today, and we will see you next time. And do not forget to actually go over our other videos that we talked about relationship and some
Mm-hmm.
other very interesting topic. I think last week we talked about self-doubt, which was like a power-packed, session. But don't forget to like just go over all our videos, and we'll see you another time. So bye everyone.
Bye.